So right now we have to proceed towards the end of your oxygen family. Okay, so today we will discuss two important topics, that is your sulfur dioxide and followed by sulfuric acid. Okay, so in sulfur dioxide we have to discuss about its preparation, physical and chemical properties, and what are the different uses of sulfur dioxide. Okay, so today we will discuss about sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide, you know its molecular formula, that is SO2. Its molecular formula, that is SO2. Okay, so first let us discuss about its preparation. Okay, so first one, that is simply the combustion of sulfur. Okay, so first preparation, that is combustion of sulfur in air, or you can say in presence of oxygen also. Okay, so S plus O2 combustion to give you sulfur dioxide. Okay, next another method also, by heating your sulfur, by heating non-metals like sulfur with H2SO4, sulfuric acid, that is your concentrated. Okay, concentrated sulfuric acid. So reaction can be written as S plus H2SO4, that is on heating, so it will give you SO2 definitely plus water, SO2 plus water. Okay, so here 2, so that will be 2, so number of sulfur, that is 3 over here. Okay, so next method of preparation, by simple the treatment of concentrated H2SO4 with metals like can treat with silver, okay, and copper also. So by treatment of H2SO4 with metals, okay, so metals means if you treat copper plus H2SO4, then it will give you CuSO4 plus H2O plus SO2. Okay, so this is the reaction with copper. So here 2H2 2H2SO4. Similarly, to that of silver, you may also write the reaction Ag plus H2SO4. It will give you, no doubt, Ag2SO4 plus again water plus SO2. Okay, if you balance the reaction over here, that will be 2 and here that is 2. Okay, so these are the methods of preparation. Again, during the extraction of metal, you know, during roasting process, roasting means you have to heat in presence of air. Okay, so during roasting your metal sulfides, okay, during the roasting of metal sulfides, then there will be liberation of your sulfur dioxide gas. Okay, so sulfur dioxide gas is liberated during roasting of metal sulfides. Okay, for example, you can consider here by roasting of metal sulfides, by roasting of metal sulfides. Metal sulfide means, suppose FeS2, iron sulfide plus roasting means in presence of oxygen you have to heat. Okay, so it will give you corresponding oxide Fe2O3. Okay, Fe2O3 plus SO2. Okay, Fe2O3 plus SO2. 4, 11, 2, and you see 22 numbers of oxygen are there with 6, and here that will be 8. Okay, so this is the equation. Again, you can treat this ZnS, zinc sulfide plus O2. If you zinc sulfide is subjected to roasting, then you are getting also here zinc oxide plus SO2. Zinc oxide plus SO2. Okay. 2, 3, 2, 2. Zn2, 6 oxygens and 2, 2, 4, 6. So these are the equations. Okay. So in inorganic chemistry, what happens? You just go through practice as much you practice all these equations, then you can remember all the things. Okay. Next, by also you can treat some sulfides. So sodium sulfide Na2SO3. Okay, the sulfides on treatment with dilute HCl. This HCl is dilute one. Okay, so you are getting definitely salt NaCl plus SO2 plus H2O. So this is the equation. Okay, so if you balance it, this will be 2 NaCl. Okay, and so 2 NaCl means, so here 2 HCl. Okay, the equation is balanced. So these are the several methods of preparation of your sulfur dioxide. Okay. Next, we shall discuss about its structure. Okay, structure of sulfur dioxide. If you go through its structure of sulfur dioxide, this one is sulfur with a lone pair electron over here. So this one is double bonded oxygen. Okay, and here a coordinate or native bond is formed with respect to towards this oxygen. Okay, so shape is bend shape. You can say bend shape. And what is the type of hybridization of sulfur? If you consider, if you forget this pi bond, this one is sigma, including lone pair, and there is a coordinate native bond. This one is called coordinate covalent bond also. So covalent bond, this lone pair also included. So the central sulfur atom is sp2 hybridized. Is sp2 hybridized. Okay. Next, we will discuss some of its physical properties. Physical properties of sulfur dioxide. Physical property. Okay. So first one, it is a colorless gas. It is a colorless gas having pungent and suffocating odor. Okay. Next, it is heavier than air. It is heavier than air. Next one, it is highly soluble in water. It is highly soluble in water. So these are few physical properties of sulfur dioxide. So let us discuss very important part, that is your chemical properties. Chemical properties. Regarding chemical properties, okay, it neither burns or helps in burning. First point, it neither burns itself nor helps in burning. Okay. However, it in the presence of atmosphere. However, in the presence of atmosphere, it reacts with metals like magnesium, okay, potassium, active metals. These are known as active metals. How the reaction can be written as magnesium plus SO2, magnesium plus SO2. It will form your corresponding oxide and sulfide. MgO oxide, MgS. This is sulfide. Okay. So here you can see 3 and here that is 2. Okay. This is the equation. And with potassium K plus SO2, then it will form your K2SO3 plus the product that will form corresponding K2SO3, again this one is K2SO3. Okay, so K2SO3, K2H2O3. okay, so you balance it. This is 4K and here you can say, okay, this equation is sulfur 2 1 3, so here 3, okay, 6 oxygens, 3 3 6 oxygens. So these are the equation. Okay, now thermal decomposition. Thermal decomposition means the breaking of that compound, the cleavage of that compound under strong heating. Okay, the cleavage of that compound under strong heating, that is called thermal decomposition. Okay, so that is thermal decomposition. Thermal decomposition. Okay, so thermal decomposition generally sulfur dioxide, okay, undergoes strong heating, that is near about 1200 degree centigrade. 1200 degree centigrade. Then the sulfur dioxide is converted into sulfur trioxide plus sulfur. Okay, sulfur trioxide plus sulfur. So this one is 3, you can say over 2. So 2 3 3. Okay, this is the equation. Okay, next that is acidic nature. Acidic nature. You know sulfur is a non-metal. So non-metallic oxides are acidic oxides, acidic in nature. Okay, and metallic oxides are basic in nature. Sulfur is a non-metal, so that's why its oxide, sulfur dioxide, is acidic in nature. So how can we prove that this is acidic in nature? Because whenever sulfur dioxide come in contact with moisture, means interact with the water, then it will form H2SO3. So this is called sulfurous acid. Sulfurous acid. Okay, so SO2 sulfurous acid, if it is acidic oxide, then with basic oxide it can form a salt. Okay, so basic oxide means SO2 plus, suppose I can consider a basic oxide, let's say barium oxide, BaO, then it will form BaSO3. BaSO3. Similarly with NaOH, this one is base, okay, and SO2 is acidic in nature, so definitely there will be formation of salt and water, neutralization reaction. So Na2SO3, sodium sulfate, plus your water, H2O. Okay, H2O. So here we are going to multiply 2 to balance the equation. Okay, so again now let us discuss about the addition reactions. Addition reactions of sulfur dioxide. Next, that is addition reactions of sulfur dioxide. Addition reactions of sulfur dioxide. Addition reaction of sulfur dioxide. Okay, it undergoes addition with chlorine to form sulfuryl chloride. How? You see, SO2 plus Cl2, then it will form SO2 Cl2. Okay, that is called your sulfuryl chloride. Sulfuryl chloride. So you have to memorize all these things. Okay. Unless practice, you can't memorize all these reactions. There are so many reactions regarding chemical properties, oxidizing nature, reducing nature. In every group element, so we are facing this chemical equations. Okay. So you just go and practice all these reactions, then you can memorize. Okay. Nothing more big concept is, tough concept is behind there. Okay. So you remember it. Next, in addition, also sulfur dioxide combines with oxygen. Okay, this one is a reversible process. Mostly occurs in presence of catalyst, you can say. So sulfur dioxide oxidation with oxygen, so it will form SO3. Okay, SO3. Okay, so there are 2 and 2 over here, 6. So this equation is balanced. Okay, again with PbO, lead oxide plus O2, then it will be form SO2, then it will form PbSO lead sulfate, PbSO4. So these are the addition reactions shown by your sulfur dioxide. Okay. Next we will see reducing nature. Very important. How it reduce other compounds. Okay. That is its reducing nature. Reducing nature. Reducing nature. Okay, so reducing nature, sulfur dioxide interacts with moisture to liberate nascent hydrogen. Nascent hydrogen. This is the, due to this activity, it acts as a reducing agent. Okay, how this SO2 comes in contact with water, then it will form H2SO3, sulfurous acid. H2SO3. Okay, first. So then again moisture also there. So H2SO3 plus H2, it gives you H2SO4. Okay, along with 2 nascent hydrogens. 2 nascent hydrogens. Okay, so if you add this equation, then what will you get? H2SO3. H2SO3 get cancelled. So you are getting SO2 plus 2H2O giving rise to H2SO4 plus 2 nascent hydrogens. So this equation is very important. This equation is very important. You have to remember. Okay, this equation is provides with the potential equation. Potential equation to show the reducing nature of your SO2. We have to apply this equation because in this equation there are 2 nascent hydrogens liberating over here. Okay, since it is a tendency due to contact with moisture, due to contact with under the interaction of the water, it can furnish this nascent hydrogens. So this explains its reducing nature. So let us discuss few examples where SO2 acts as a reducing agent. Okay. First one, it reduces halogens. It reduces halogens into their corresponding hydra acids. Okay. First reducing nature, it reduces halogens into their corresponding hydra acids. Okay, how you just remember that potential equation, just I have written over here, that is SO2 comes in contact with moisture, that is H2O, will lead to the formation of H2SO4 plus 2 nascent hydrogens. That clear? So next, it since it liberates nascent hydrogen, that nascent hydrogen will take up by your halogen. So hydrogen is added with halogen. That is called reduction of a halogen. So Cl2. Let's say these are two nascent hydrogens. Then it will give you 2HCl. This is their halogen acids HCl. Now we just add these two equations. Two nascent hydrogen get cancelled. So the final equation can be written as SO2 plus Cl2 plus 2H2O giving rise to your H2SO4 plus 2HCl. Okay, so this is the final equation. Next, this sulfur dioxide reduces your acidified potassium permanganate. You know, acidified potassium permanganate is a very good oxidizing agent. Acidified potassium permanganate is a very good reducing agent. Okay, let us discuss next. That is your acidified KMnO4 is reduced by your SO. Okay, so acidified KMnO4, just write down its equation. That will be your KMnO4 plus H2SO4. Okay, it gives you, that is K2SO4 plus 2MnSO4 plus 3H2O plus 5 nascent oxygen. That's why acidified potassium permanganate acts as an oxidizing agent. This species acts as an oxidizing agent. Okay, so next we have to write down its equation. That is SO2 plus 2H2O gives you H2SO4 plus 2 nascent hydrogen. Okay, then this oxygen will be taken up by this nascent hydrogen. So 2 nascent hydrogen gains that nascent oxygen get converted into H2. So in this reaction we have to cancel all these things. 5 nascent oxygen can be cancelled by multiplying 5 over here, and here there will be 10 nascent hydrogen. So again you have to multiply over here 5. Okay, so the net equation 10 nascent hydrogen get cancelled, 5 nascent oxygen get cancelled. Then you just write down the final equation. That will be 2KMnO4 plus 5SO2 plus 2H2O giving rise to your K2SO4 plus 2MnSO4 plus 2MnSO4 plus 2H2SO4 plus 2H2SO4. Okay, and the coloration of KMnO4, it is decolorized or coloration property, coloration of KMnO4 vanishes due to reduction over here. Okay, next about its reducing nature, there is also another strong oxidizing agent, that is acidified potassium dichromate, okay, which is also reduced by this sulfur dioxide. Okay, let us write down its equation. So acidified potassium dichromate. Okay, acidified K2Cr2O7 is reduced. So K2Cr2O7 plus 4H2SO4 giving rise to K2SO4 plus Cr2SO4 whole 3, okay, plus 4H2O plus nascent oxygen. So there will be liberation of your 3 nascent oxygens. 3 nascent oxygens will be there. Okay. So now we have to write SO2 plus 2H2O giving rise to your H2SO4 plus 2 nascent hydrogen. Again, that 2 nascent hydrogen gets that nascent oxygen get converted into H2O. Okay. So as per our procedure, we have to cancel all these nascent oxygens and hydrogens. So here there are 3 nascent oxygens that can be cancelled by multiplying over here 3. Okay. So again 6 nascent hydrogens, you have to multiply this equation also 3. So 3 nascent oxygen get cancelled, 6 nascent hydrogen get cancelled. So you can write down the final equation, that is K2Cr2O7 plus 3SO2 plus H2SO4 giving rise to K2SO4 plus Cr2SO4 whole thrice plus H2 and its color is green. Okay, these are 2 important reactions, that is reduction of acidified KMnO4 and reduction of your potassium dichromate. Okay, it also reduces your ferric sulfate into ferrous sulfate. Okay, ferric sulfate into ferrous sulfate. It also reduces your ferric sulfate Fe2SO4 whole thrice. Okay, ferric sulfate into ferrous sulfate FeSO4. Okay, so now just write down the equation like SO2 plus 2H2O giving rise to H2SO4 plus 2 nascent hydrogens. Okay, now this Fe2SO4 whole thrice will accept that 2 nascent hydrogen leading to no doubt FeSO4 ferrous sulfate. Okay, plus there will be H2SO4. Okay, so you just balance this equation, that will be 2 over here. Okay, now what you have to do? Already there are 2 nascent hydrogen get cancelled. So the final equation will be Fe2SO4 whole thrice plus SO2 plus 2H2O giving rise to 2FeSO4 plus 2H2SO4. So this is the final equation. Okay. Next, it reduces your acidified iodates to iodine. Okay, let us discuss how it reduces acidified iodates to iodine. Okay, it reduces acidified iodates. It reduces acidified iodates to iodine. Acidified iodates to iodine. Okay, so write down the first equation, SO2 plus 2H2O giving rise to H2SO4 plus 2 nascent hydrogen. Okay, so here this KiO3, this is iodates. Acidified means it is dissolved in acid. Suppose your acid is H2SO4. No doubt there will be liberation of K2SO4 plus 2HI HiO3. 2HiO3. Okay. So if you balance this equation, the two potassiums are there, so you can multiply over here 2KiO3. Okay. So now that HiO3 will accept this nascent hydrogen, okay, and get converted into your I2. So definitely there will be liberation of what? 6H2. Okay. So here that will be 10 and here 2. Okay. So equation is balanced. Now we just add these equations. Okay. So here there are 2 hydrogens and 10 nascent hydrogen over here. So definitely you have to multiply over 5. Okay. 5, 10 hydrogen get cancelled. So the final equation can be written as 2KiO3 plus 5SO2 plus 4H2 giving rise to K2SO4 plus H2SO4, 4H2SO4 plus the final, that is your iodine, I2. Okay, so these are the important reactions of the reducing nature of sulfur dioxide. You just practice it well. Okay. Unless you have hard practice, you can't memorize these chemical reactions, especially the oxidizing nature and reducing nature. Okay. No more top class reason is behind it. You just practice it and memorizing the reactions. Okay. Next, that is its oxidizing nature. Okay. So sulfur dioxide acts as reducing nature. It has reducing nature and oxidizing nature. That means it can act as both your oxidizing agent and as well as reducing agent. Why? Because in SO2 you just see SO2, the oxidation state of sulfur is +4. Okay, you know their lowest oxidation state is -2 and highest is +6. Okay, this +4 is an intermediate where if there is the change in oxidation number from +4 to +6, that means it undergoes oxidation. So जिसका ऑक्सीडेशन हो रहा है वो बेटा क्या होगा? एक reducing agent. Reactions we have discussed, reducing agent, and also it can gains electrons to convert it into -2. So if suppose something gains electron, then it is undergoes reduction, and if it is undergoes reduction, then it also act as an oxidizing agent. Okay, so regarding reducing nature, we have already discussed its reducing properties. So now it's the time to discuss about its oxidizing nature. How it oxidizes other species. So first one is it oxidizes H2S to sulfur. It oxidizes H2S to sulfur. Okay, so reaction, that is H2S plus sulfur dioxide, will give you S plus. Then tell me what will be the byproduct? Definitely that will be your H2O. Okay, so just if you balance this equation, then that will be 2 over here. So here that will be 3S. Okay, and 2 over here, or 2. So equation is balanced. Okay, this is one of its oxidizing nature. It also oxidizes some metals like magnesium, just I have discussed, Mg plus SO2 giving rise to MgO plus Mgs, magnesium sulfide and magnesium oxide. I have discussed it. Okay, CO is oxidized to CO2 by SO2. SO2 oxidizes this carbon monoxide into carbon dioxide, CO2. Okay, plus S. Okay, so these are some oxidizing nature of your sulfur dioxide. And there is an important concept about its bleaching action. Okay, bleaching action. Bleaching action. Bleaching action. Okay, so bleaching action of sulfur dioxide is temporary. Okay, it is due to its reducing nature. Okay, so you know sulfur dioxide comes in contact with water or moisture, it will give you H2SO4 plus 2 nascent hydrogen. This nascent hydrogen come in contact with organic matter plus this nascent hydrogen, then becomes, this is colored matter, and now due to reduction it is bleaching out into colorless. Okay, but whenever this colorless substance comes in contact with air, then further oxidation takes place, leading to again that organic matter having color. Okay, so its bleaching action is temporary, not permanent. Clear? Now let us discuss few uses of sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide, first of all, you know, it is used as a bleaching agent. Okay, and next it is used in refining petroleum and sugar. Okay, as a disinfectant also it can be used. Okay, so few points are there. It is available in your book also, or any the fair note also provided to you, where the uses of different uses of sulfur dioxide are there. Just to go through that. Okay, next the topic that is very important compound H2SO4. This is called sulfuric acid. The king of chemicals. Okay, the king of chemicals, because it is frequently used in different laboratory. Okay, so sulfuric acid, basically there are several methods of preparation, but we have to consider about its manufacturing of sulfuric acid by industrial method, that is by contact process. Okay, by contact process, very important, by contact process. Okay, so in contact process it involves basically 4 steps. Okay, so step 1, that is formation of sulfur dioxide. Formation of sulfur dioxide. Sulfur undergoes combustion in presence of air, get converted into SO2. Okay, so step 2, that is very important. Okay, SO2 is oxidized to SO3. SO2 is oxidized to SO3. So SO2, it is a reversible process and particularly takes place in presence of catalyst. Reversible process, it converted into SO3. Okay, so combustion means there is oxygen, O2. Okay, so now this will be 2 and 2. Okay, so step 3, what we will do, sulfur trioxide SO3 is treated with 98% concentrated H2SO4. Okay, so SO3 on treatment with H2SO4, it forms H2S2O7. This is called oleum. Okay, so the last step, what happens? That is step 4. In the last step, step 4. Okay, that oleum is diluted with water. Okay, so H2SO7 plus diluted with water H2 giving rise to 2H2SO. This is your sulfuric acid. Okay. Next, this sulfuric acid is acid because whenever it is dissolved in water, it will furnishes you H plus ion. Okay, so H2SO4 it is a diabacic acid. ठीक, so H2SO4 dissolved in water to give you 2H plus aqueous plus SO4 2 minus aqueous. Okay, so this explains its acidic in its acidic nature. Okay, so if this one is acid, then tell me on treatment with base, let's say NaOH plus H2SO4, then you tell me there will be salt that will be Na2SO4 sodium sulfate plus water, salt and water. Okay, it also decomposes sodium carbonate and sodium bicarbonate. Okay, so sodium carbonate Na2CO3 plus H2SO4, then you will get over here Na2CO3 plus H2SO4, that will be salt, Na2SO4 plus CO2 plus H2. Okay, again with your bicarbonate, let's say NaHCO3 plus H2SO4. Tell me the salt form over here. Say again NaHSO4 plus CO2 plus water. So these are the various reactions showing its acidic nature. It also, if you treatment with the active metals zinc like H2SO4, due to its acidic nature, definitely this metal will displaces this hydrogen from acid. So you will get ZnSO4 plus H2. Okay, zinc sulfate plus hydrogen is liberated. So it liberates hydrogen whenever treated with active metal. So this also explains its acidic nature. Okay. Next we will discuss its oxidizing nature. It also acts as an oxidizing agent. Okay. Next, that is its oxidizing nature. Its oxidizing nature. Oxidizing nature. Okay, so oxidizing nature you can explain. This H2SO4 acts as a H2SO4 acts as an oxidizing agent. Okay, so the potential equation. So the potential equation can be written as, okay, so this again here the potential equation to act as an oxidizing agent can be given as, that will be H2SO4 will give you H2 plus SO2 plus nascent oxygen, H2O plus SO2 plus nascent oxygen. Okay, so first oxidizing property, that is it oxidizes carbon into carbon dioxide, non-metal into its non-metallic oxide. Okay, so write down its potential equation. H2SO4 giving rise to H2 plus SO2 plus nascent oxygen. Okay, so next carbon when you take up this nascent oxygen, get converted into CO2. CO2. Okay. So two oxygen are there, two nascent oxygen. So oxygen, nascent oxygen should be cancelled. Then you just add this equation, two nascent oxygen get cancelled. Okay. So final equation C plus H2SO4 giving rise to your 2H2SO4 giving rise to 2H2O plus 2SO2 plus CO. Okay. So this is the equation. Next, it oxidizes, okay, Ki to I2, because Ki, this potassium is electropositive element, so removal of electropositive element is called, addition of electronegative element is called oxidation. Removal of electronegative element is called reduction. So addition of electropositive element is called reduction. Removal of electropositive element is called oxidation. Okay. So here Ki is converted into I2. Removal of potassium. Okay. So the equation can be written over here like this, that potassium iodide Ki, okay, Ki acidified potassium iodide H2SO4, it is acidified, okay, H2SO4 giving rise to K2SO4 plus Hi. First balance this equation 2, so here will be 2, so equation is balanced. Next, the potential equation, that is H2SO4 giving rise to CO2 H2 plus nascent oxygen. Okay, and you know that nascent oxygen will take up by this HI. Okay, so here this byproduct HI, this one is a reducing agent. Hydrogen iodide is a reducing agent. Okay, means itself undergoes oxidation. Okay, oxidation means this will take this oxygen, nascent oxygen. So HI takes this oxygen, get converted into I2 plus H2. Since nascent oxygen, there is only one nascent oxygen here, so no need to multiply anything. You just cancel this nascent oxygen and write down the final equation. So that will be 2Ki, yes, plus 2 H2SO4 giving rise to K2SO4 plus SO2 plus I2 plus 2H2. So this one is the equation. Okay. Next, we shall discuss about dehydrating. It's dehydrating nature. So you remember in your organic chemistry, okay? So H2SO4 is used as a dehydrating agent. That is for the removal of water molecule. Okay? So it is used as a dehydrating agent. Okay, so if I write in organic C2H5OH alcohol, ethyl alcohol. If I hit this ethyl alcohol with H2SO4, then a water molecule can be eliminated from ethanol. Okay, and it will lead to the formation of an ether, C2H5O2, that is an ether. Okay, C2H5 full 2. Oh, this is ether. Okay, diethyl ether. Diethyl ether. So for the removal of one water molecule, you are using the reagent H2SO4 as your dehydrating agent. Okay, so this is C2H5OH plus OH C2H5. Then OH H get eliminated in the form of water H2SO4. Okay, in presence of H2SO4. So you are getting C2H5O C2H5. That is diethyl ether. The role of H2SO4 to remove one water molecule. Okay, so these are few important reactions and very important. The manufacturing of sulfuric acid by contact process, that is also known as the industrial method of preparation or synthesis of H2SO4, and few chemical properties we have discussed. And regarding its use, you know, it is the king of chemicals, means as a strong acid and frequently used in different laboratory. Okay, and so petroleum refining, it is also used in case of refining of petroleum. Okay, manufacturing pads, pigments, storage batteries. Okay, so just to go through that, with this I will finish your chapter, that is oxygen family, and next we shall discuss about group 15 elements. Okay, thank you.